I pick up a memory. I thought I lost it long ago. Remember the freshness.
Good morning, Sven.
Good morning.
You have delivered this quarter two report and you have a strong momentum in the business. Q1 was the strongest first quarter ever, and now a solid second quarter. Order intake in the quarter grew almost with 23%, currency neutral, and sales with 12% compared to last year. Are there any dark clouds in the horizon for Nederman?
We can spend the next 2 hours discussing about problems around. We have full-fledged war in Europe, we have energy, we have inflation, but it's all things that is out of our control. So we try to live after having to adapt, improvise, and overcome. Adopt, improvise, overcome. That's the mantra, and we can handle it in a reasonably good way. We have been able to handle it the last 6 months, and we are going to continue to do so also for the future.
You had, again, a strong quarter. How was the development in the geographic areas, Americas, EMEA, and Asia?
I think we have had a strong Americas. We have had a good European development despite the things that are happening in Europe right now. The big challenge we've had, and where we have seen this in especially China, with very long lockdowns, which has impacted our ability to service our customers. We have a lot of things that should have been shipped and delivered, both hampered by the fact that we can't get transportation means, we cannot have people or haven't been able to have people at the factories, and the same goes with our customers in China and some areas in Asia like Vietnam and so on. So that has been the challenge. We have the last week seen some opening up, and hopefully we during Q3 can see some better momentum in that area of the world as well.
The Extraction and Filtration division had strong order intake and good profitability in this quarter. Process Technology division continues to improve in all segments, but do you see challenges in the sales growth? And what challenges do you see?
We have had very good order intake in all divisions. The problem we mentioned earlier has hampered our ability to deliver sales. So we are increasing our backlog. We have a record high backlog, which is quite good, but we would have liked to have delivered more. We are late in deliveries due to the things I mentioned earlier, and very much also problems for our customers because they are delayed to take and finalize the projects. But generally speaking, we are very pleased with the order intake.
And what about Duct and Filter elements and Monitor and Control Technology?
Now, I think that Duct and Filter are doing very well. They have had some challenges with the raw material prices. They were very skilled increasing the prices in the beginning of the booming price levels for steel. Now it's biting them a little bit. We have long-term contracts, so it will balance, but they're doing very well. Monitor and Control are doing okay. They have increased the order intake, but the challenge has been Asia, mainly China in that case, and where we have had difficulties to ship to the end users.
In April, the board agreed a new profitability target, adjusted EBITDA margin at least 14%. It was around 12% in March. What will make you reach the 14%?
No, but this is a long-term goal. It's not something that will happen in 2 or 3 quarters. We had, for a very long, many years, we had the target of EBIT of 10%. We increased that before, found that the right thing to do, because we are moving in that direction. We are increasing the portion of digitalization, efficiency-wise, and as we say, it's both in the offering. We have more efficient tools. We have talked about that. We have even been granted a prize-winning technology, and this is something that will, in the end, we will see that the efficiency, being number one in certain segment, will increase pricing power, it will increase our capability of handling the situation. Again, we are working towards that goal, but it will not happen next quarter or the quarter after that, but in a planning period of a few years.
In April, you informed that you will invest in a new production facility in Helsingborg, and also create a leading innovation and experience center. You also have initiated changes in USA. Why now, and what is happening?
No, it was time. If we start with the US, we have invested in our US facilities before, mainly in Charlotte, where we are continuously developing that site. Nordfab in Thomasville are outgrowing their current facility, and also with the investments in new machinery and increased capacity, and the new concept where they are planning to have 24-hour supply capability and delivery times. They need a different setup and that time for it. When it comes to Helsingborg, it's almost overdue. We had plans 15 years ago, but things came in between, and now it was time. We have discussed over the last few years alternatives on existing sites that were not sufficient. It turned out to be a better but not a good enough solution. So in the end, we are glad that we have signed a long-term contract, and in spring 2024 the facilities will move to one facility in the vicinity of existing facility, and we will add not only the logistics and the manufacturing, but also adding significant capabilities when it came to testing, innovation center, which is long asked for from the R&D teams.
You have strong positions in, let's say, traditional customer segments like welding, as an example, and I guess you will try to keep those. Which new segments are you entering, and how is it going?
Well, I would say that we are not actively seeking a lot of new segments. We want to grow our position within existing segment. We are number one in some geographic areas, and maybe only number 2 or 3 in some geographic area for certain segment, but we want to be number 1 wherever we are, because that is our ambition and that's a long-term target there. So we will continue to do that. And an example of what we are doing is in the process technology under division Luva, where they are number 1 in textile and fiber manufacturing. They are now also developing their position in non-woven, for instance, and we have a very interesting order this quarter, $5.7 million to a non-woven. It's actually for feminine care, which is an interesting development. So we want to go into that. We have been there, but we want to grow our position. The same goes with welding, where we are typically number 1 in many markets, but there are not white spots, but they are not strong enough. And it goes around. So since we have a market that is very fragmented, you can have local smaller companies that has a position, but we want to overtake that position and be at least number 2 and preferably number 1 in all geographies and all segments we're working with. And that's what we're doing.
I see. The development this year has been positive. Last question. What about the market situation and the Nederman position looking forward?
That's a very difficult question. We see that short term there could be disturbances. We mentioned that earlier. However, I think we can handle it in a reasonable way. And we foresee that on the midterm and long term there's a growing interest in clean air, and we are positioning ourselves as a clean air company. We have the most modern, broadest offer, and that means that we strongly believe that we will take further market share in the existing market, and the market that we believe will grow for the coming years, because we have seen that the interest and the awareness of bad air, the reports from different areas, WHO, environmental agencies around the world are showing that we need to deal with this, and that's why I'm very positive on the mid to long term.
A challenging but bright future. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's sing for the good one.